Welcome back. Well, a group of organisations say they're increasingly worried that millions, I really do mean millions of people, could end up not being able to watch terrestrial television because of the switch-off from analogue television signals to digital signals. The digital signals will produce clearer and better pictures and allow you to watch more channels. Also, the move will allow that part of the radio spectrum to be used for more 5G services, so cheaper data. But it appears, and there is some dispute over this, that millions of people don't appear to have the right TVs or the right set-top box, which would help them see digital channels. In other words, it's a box you connect to your TV that would then make it a digital television. Hassen Lorgat is with the People's Media Consortium. He joins us now. Hassen, good afternoon to you. We've seen these signals, the analogue signals, being switched off in some places around the country. The Northern Cape was first. What impact is this having so far?
According to us, the impact has been favorable for ETV because a number of viewers have crossed towards ETV, and they record about 40% increase in the areas where SABC cut off their signal and they did not. And this is a problem for SABC people who worked very hard during the COVID pandemic to educate people about COVID using television medium. And clearly, TV is very, very important to people for recreation. You know, the soapies, Generations, Mvango and all that are part of people's daily life. And of course, after COVID, people are much poorer. So what we're saying, come 31st of March, there will be a blackout for millions of people. We've gone as far as to say there'll be 14 million. And this is by a bureaucratic stroke of the pen, without any consultation with other producers, without ETV, independent producers, Cape TV, nor with citizens. I mean, the minister seems to be so opposed to talking to civil society. She even opposed them in the court case yesterday. Yesterday, when it was the second day of the court case which ETV lodged, trying to stop this from going ahead, she opposed media monitoring and SOS. But also yesterday, she appeared in Parliament, and she called a campaign that we are lying and we are just creating an alarm. What I want to say, Stephen, and I know you have to come in, is that she doesn't want to believe that it's 14 million fair individuals. She tried to go on the households, but even 1 million is far too much.
How do you come to the number that you come to? And I can imagine the argument about this. There's a census underway at the moment. What it really boils down to, and I imagine there's no figure for how many working television sets there are in the country, but the numbers probably would go down to how many people are relying on an old-style analog TV set that don't have DSTV or any of the other services. How do you come to a hard figure of 14 million?
Well, what we did was, I think that they've worked out is about 8 million households, right? And the figure varies there. And we're looking at 2.5 million persons per household. So we're not looking at the household, but we're looking at individuals who watch television. So we doubled that. But as I'm saying to you, even if they want to go on to households, the households that are most affected are those who are very poor, who don't have the infrastructure to correspond and don't have the infrastructure to connect with all these systems that are supposedly going to meet them. But what the minister said yesterday was criminal. She said, through her lawyer, that she was under no obligation to consult, right? Now, I looked the other day through the Reconstruction and Development Program, the heyday of our democracy, and the word consult appears over 30 times. You know, it's like the poem from Bertolt Brecht, which says that the people have made a wrong choice. You know, they have to redouble their efforts to win back our trust. Otherwise, we dissolve the people. That is wrong. The people cannot be dissolved. That if the people have not taken up the offer, and these dates are set unilaterally for 2 years, you do nothing, it's been very shambolic the way this process has been handled. You know, every other process we handle, it looks like we stop, start, stop, start. This is a particular embarrassment.
So, to put things another way, can someone who suddenly finds that their old analog TV stops working, and I mean, you know, I'm talking about a TV where you would maybe use an old wire hanger to get a signal, it suddenly stops working. The idea would be they should be able to go somewhere and for free or with a subsidy get a digital set-top box. I mean, there was an idea that the post office would be able to do that. Are those boxes available for those people? We're talking about people who can't afford to pay anything for them.
Yeah, I mean, the minister claims that there are more set boxes available than people signing up. There must be something wrong. there seems to be always a disconnect in how we connecting. I mean, I go to the post office. It looks like it's a dangerous place to go to in Indonesia. The lights are not working. It looks like it's some dingy place. We have not made this easy for people. There must be another thing. I mean, Stephen, also to permit people who are earning 3,500 or less to apply. I keep quoting this example. I speak to a worker working in one of these retail shops. She earned 4,000. Is she being victimized because she earned 500 more? Those are the working poor. Her money will get spent on the transport. Clearly, something new has to happen here. What we want digital quality television for everyone. But what we're saying, it is possible to delay this. Because if you persist to take them away and give them the tough love that we are accustomed to now, right, we're basically taking away a right that people have become accustomed to. And that's wrong.
The Communications Ministry talks about the set-top boxes it's put out. Do you believe, then, with where we are at the moment, the entire process should be delayed? And let me just explain. I mean, I think you make a compelling case, Hassen, but there is a reason why this is happening. And the reason why this is happening is that once these analog signals are taken off the spectrum, there's a lot more space on the spectrum to introduce much better, much faster, and crucially, much cheaper digital data services. In other words, I'm talking about 5G internet. And we've seen in so many places, and we're seeing it in South Africa too, not everywhere, but we are seeing it, where access to data becomes more important than access to old-style linear television, because you can watch TV with data, right? You can't go on the internet with old-style television. So there is a cost to any delay, and quite an important cost to quite an important process.
Stephen, you raise an important point which was raised in the court case that went on until 10 o'clock last night. The lawyers representing ETV and bolstering the argument of SOS and that basically argued that the minister was responding to the policy document of 2008, which spoke very specifically about television, right? And they raised very much in that document the need for universal access. But the government seemed to be very, very interested in talking about our international commitments. You may have heard this, right, with the ITU and that. But even the ITU talks about bridging the digital divide. Now, Stephen, here's the point. You're right about how people view. They may view it on different sets. It doesn't mean that they won't view it on television, right? That Vodacom and DSTV and others, they haven't shown the goodwill when they had the right. I mean, there's no reason why they could not lower the costs for cell phone connections. I mean, they have the potential now to do it. Now that we have to do it on the basis of a promise. They have that. We have put in the demand to the ministry that they've offered 10 gigabytes free data every month per household. We're saying yes, 10 gigabytes must be free per person. That is the way to go with it. So when they free this, we want to try and make sure that it doesn't enrich a few CEOs as they've done over the past.
Hassen Lorgat from the People's Media Consortium, thanks very much indeed. Really interesting issue, an important issue as well. Thanks very much indeed for joining us this afternoon.